Hello everyone, it's Sean from TaekwondoSean.com, and today we're covering the sidekick. Check it out. So Sidekick, Yeop Chagi, is one of my favorite kicks. If you see a logo of a martial arts school or a bumper sticker on a car, it's usually going to be a Sidekick, a Yeop Chagi, because it's just so distinctive. It's just like the martial arts kick. You see, Sidekick, Yeop Chagi is really good and really versatile for sparring, kyorugi, self-defense. It's good for the competition if you're doing poomsae, and then it's also good for board breaking and demonstrations. It also leads to a really exciting kick later on where we fly through the air, but we'll get to that at another time. So let's get started with two kinds of warm-ups that I like to do before I do my sidekicks, just to make sure the muscles that are involved are warmed up and ready to go. All right, so the first warm-up exercise I like to do for my sidekicks is called the sideways leg swings. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold on to the chair. You can also use the wall, hold on to that. So all you're gonna do is gonna hold your support, swing your leg across the bottom leg. Here, I'll show you on the side here. Swing across and up into your sidekick position, sidekick motion. Now when you're doing this, you still wanna have a good sidekick technique at the very top. And then from here, you cross over at the bottom and back up. Cross over at the bottom and back up. And you're just swinging it. We're letting the muscles know exactly what's coming. I like to do 10, 20 times on each side. And when you're ready, we can continue. So now that I've done the leg swings, we're gonna do something called sidekick raises as well. Now you can use a partner who's holding their hand out like this, or you can use a countertop, a tabletop, a chair. You can use the lower part of the chair or the upper part of the chair, depending where you stand on the flexibility and the muscle strength spectrum. All right, so I'm gonna put it at the top here. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my leg on top of it, and then all I wanna try and do is lift up my sidekick as high as I can, bring it down, touch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good, and you guys can do that 10, 20 times. Usually 12 is pretty good, and you can do a couple of sets after you do each side. And again, get myself ready to go. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Now you can also do this without any obstacle, like if you're by yourself and there's nothing around you can use to train. All you do is you set some kind of bar, you set a neutral, and then from there, up and don't drop below it. Up and don't drop below it. Up, down. All right, have some fun with this. Let's see how it goes. All right, so now that we've warmed up our hip muscles and our buttocks and our lower back and everything like that, now we're ready to start building the kick from the ground up. All right, so here I am on the ground. Now, when I do my side kick, I want to extend my bottom leg, line up my body properly, and then bring my knee up as if I'm about to do a real side kick. Now, ideally, I want my hip, shoulder, head, and foot all in one line. And then from here, all I'm gonna do is practice extending my leg until my knee also enters this line. Then I bring it back, and up, and back, and up, and back. Now when I'm doing this, I wanna make sure my toes are pointing down. Now, as long as my toes are equal with my heel, it should be okay. But the best way to try and make it the better side kick, or at least the best way to avoid making your toes go up, is actually try to have them pointing down so that way you're hitting with the foot blade, the palnal. And then from here, bring it back and extend. Bring it back and extend. Good, now when you get to the full extension, try to squeeze your butt, line up your body, bring it back. Good, and then we'll do both sides. Again, line up, head, shoulders, knees and toes, and then the knee comes out of alignment, but everything else is still good. And out, and back, and out, and back. So this is the chamber, my knee is bent, and then I extend it, squeeze my butt, bring it back. Now once this feels natural, we'll start standing up. All right, now we're gonna try it standing up, but we're gonna take balance out of the equation using our trusty friend, the chair. All right, so holding onto our chair now so we can take balance out of the equation, I'm gonna bring my knee up into my chamber position. I wanna make sure my knee is higher than my foot. I wanna make sure my foot blade is facing the target, my heel is facing the target. I wanna make sure my body doesn't dip down too much. And then from here, once I feel ready and comfortable, I'm gonna have all my joints aligned, extend, squeeze my butt, hold it for just a moment, and bring it back. Hold it for just a moment, and bring it back. And I'm gonna practice this until this motion starts to feel natural, until I don't have to keep looking to make sure that my head, shoulders, hips, and ankle all line up, and then my knee lines up too at the very end of the kick. All right, so practice this 12 times, 10 times, 20 times each leg until it feels natural, and then we'll be able to go beyond the chair. Now, one thing to look for is you want to make sure your heel is pointing at your target. It's not always going to do this in a practical situation or while you're training, but if you can practice in the proper, pristine, 100% position, then you guys are going to be looking really good. And you're going to get closer to perfection every time. Extend, bring it back. Extend, bring it back. Extend, bring it back. Extend, bring it back. Then you want to make sure all the joints, head, shoulders, knees and toes, and butt, line up when you do the side kick. And the best way to do that too is have some kind of mirror or set up your phone in selfie mode and then kick the phone. And then you'll be able to see in the phone's reflection that is my butt sticking out? Because that's the best way to lose power is when you're doing your side kick, then your butt sticks out like this. Try to line up your hips because only with good joint alignment are we able to transfer our full power to the target. All right, now it's time. We made it. We're going to do side kick without any support. Now, there's lots of different ways to step. You can kick with the front leg, the back leg, crossing over. But what we're going to do now is we're going to try kicking with our front leg just to get the nice basics down. So I'm going to have a nice sparring stance here. I'm going to turn my back foot so my heel's facing the target. And then trying to keep my balance as best I can, I'm going to bring it up into my chamber position. And then extend, line up all my joints, bring it back, and put it down. Now from here, I'm going to try the other side. Again, I'm going to point my heel at the target, bring up my leg, extend, bring it back, put it down. My mission is to make sure all my joints line up, make sure my balance is good, I'm not leaning back too far, and to keep my hands up so I'm able to protect myself if something happens or I fall down. From here, heel facing the target, bring my knee up, extend, and bring it back. All right, so practice this fast, practice this slow, practice this with the back leg, practice it with the front leg, practice it while stepping behind, practice it while stepping in front, practice all the different kinds of side kick, and then you guys are going to find the ones that you like and find the ones that you're naturally more gifted at. And those are the ones that you want to practice a lot. Now, in our field, in a martial arts field, there's a little bit of controversy regarding the side kick because every style wants to claim that they have the best side kick and our side kick's the real side kick. When in reality, side kick has been modified based on the situation that it's in. So in kyorugi, in sparring, for example, there's a lot of foot fencing, right? So what they do in sparring is they have their foot up here with their knee at the same level at some points, and they use it to cut the opponent so they can start chasing, wah, and start using their attacks. All right, so that's one style. Your knee and your foot are pretty much equal, like this. Now the next one is in competitive poomsae. In order to kick super high, they have to bring their foot up to about here. They can still get a bit of a snap when they do it, and they're able to kick higher and faster, and it looks really good. Now the other way is the traditional way. So in Taekwondo and then also karateka, they kick from here, from this position. Their knee is on top of their foot, almost touching their knee like this, and then from here, it shoots out. It's also sometimes called the snapping side kick. Now from here, you're able to generate speed because you're starting your foot very far from the target, so at a long time to fully evolve into the speedy kick. Now this traditional kick is how I was taught by my grandmaster, and then that's how we teach it in our dojang. So for you guys, try both. Make sure you guys try the sport one, the kyorugi one, try the poomsae one, try the traditional one, and see which one really resonates with you. All right? Now, it's also something to consider why you're training Taekwondo. If you're training to go to the Olympics and you want to spar, then definitely it's an obvious choice for you. If you guys really want to compete in poomsae, then it's definitely good to cater your training to trying to kick higher and more snappy. So less about power and more about height. And then if you guys are training for, purist reasons, I want to train the way the general taught Taekwondo when he created it. I want to train the way they trained in Okinawa. Then you definitely have to start training with your foot below your knee like this. So just remember, how you train Taekwondo, why you train Taekwondo, will help you decide what kind of side kick you want to do. Because none of them are wrong. It's just about what you're doing Taekwondo, what you're doing for martial arts for. So just make sure you guys don't fall into that kind of trap, that one's better than the other. Just train your kind of Taekwondo. Train the Taekwondo that you want to train. So now that we figured out what sidekick we like and we've been practicing it enough, now it's time to bring up our flexibility. So we're going to practice 2 stretches that I like to use to help improve the height or improve the fluidity of my sidekicks, my Yeop Chagi. So the first stretch is the side splits. Now what I like about the side splits is if your body's lined up correctly, it actually is where your body is. It's doing what your body's doing when you sidekick. Your body will remember that kind of positioning. So as you go down into your side splits, sometimes it's beneficial to put your chair in front here like this. And then you go into your side splits, and then you want to try and keep your body straight. And then you can go from one side to the other side, making sure that your ankles, knees, hips, and shoulders all stay in line with each other. Or you can have your toes pointing up. Both are going to give you a good stretch and work out the muscles that are used in the sidekick. One is just familiar to the joints when you perform the kick, and one is more like general. The other stretch that I like to do was actually inspired by one of my favorite anime characters. Actually, when I was a kid, it wasn't called anime, it was just a cartoon. But we used to watch Dragon Ball, and Goku would always do this specific stretch before he would fight. So Goku really likes to do the single leg squat stretch. So you keep your foot flat on the ground, you make sure your knees are over your toes, you make sure your other foot, foot is pointing up, and then you lean down, trying to get your hips as low to the ground as you can on one side, and then the other side. Now you want to try and hold it for maybe 20 seconds on each side. Of course, if you feel a good stretch, you can hold it for a bit longer. All right, now we have 2 stretches. Now lastly, we're going to go over 2 exercises to help bring up the strength of the muscles involved in our sidekicks. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is the squat sidekick. Now we've done this before with front kicks and front turning kicks, or the Yeop Chagi and the Yeop Chagi. So now we're going to try it with the sidekick. So I'm going to get into a comfortable squat stance. I'm going to bend my knees, making sure my knees stay on top of my feet. My back is up here. And then as I come up, I'm going to lift one of my legs, perform a sidekick, put it back, trying to aim to put it back where it was before, and then go down, come up, and the other side, perform the sidekick, go down, come up, sidekick, go down, come up, sidekick. Now you guys can do that 3 sets of 12, 3 sets of 20. We can do 20 each leg. The main thing is, do it a lot. The more you do it, the more it's going to hurt. But then tomorrow, if you guys eat right, the muscles will be stronger. And then the second one is a variation of the squat sidekick. We're actually going to squat and then sidekick while moving. So you can do this across your dojang if you guys come early to class, or if you're in your backyard or outside, or in your own home if you go down the hallway. But the main thing is you're doing it. So what you're going to do is you're going to squat. And then as you come up, you're going to bring your leg up in front of you, pivot, chamber, extend, bring it back, squat, and then the other leg, other side. And you can do that all the way across, one way, then the other way, and keep going back and forth. So again, squat, sidekick, squat, sidekick. So the sidekick, Yeop Chagi, you guys have been practicing really hard. We know that it's really good for kyorugi, competitive sparring, competitive poomsae. We know that it's good for practicing regular poomsae. We know that it's good for board breaking. We know that it's good for self-defense. We know that it's good on a bumper sticker. Now, the main thing with sidekick is don't get caught up in that controversy that's going on. Practice the sidekicks and see which one resonates with you. See which one you feel you do better. And then practice, practice, practice. And then you guys can try all the different kinds, and you're really gonna find the sidekick that works for you. Because really, martial arts is all about your own self-expression. So if you guys can find the sidekick that works for you and practice it and be proud of it, then you guys are on the right path. Train hard, practice well, and we'll see you guys on the mats.